Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Zenless Zone Zero reaction. Today we have the CCD theme as requested by CEO of Fumbling, and yes, this is the Find New Purposes upload with all of the themes kind of intermingled between. So I'll be hearing what all of these have in store, and without further ado, let's go! It's a very nice melody, just right away. It's very nice. It kind of gives me that, like, 90s era retrofuturism feeling. And what could be more perfect for Zenless? You know, I haven't reached the part in the game where you get jetpack boo. That's pretty sick. This is a really, it's almost perfect for exploration. Much more atmospheric, but the melody is consistent and doesn't get exhausting or anything. Just enough evolution that you don't find yourself getting exhausted by hearing it a few times over. I love this too. How this, like, kind of breaks down the main theme that we've been getting. The electronic bits in between, just the synth. And then, like, the rest being filled in with the guitar in there. That's a really nice separation. Obviously introducing a little bit more energy here. We're probably going to slide into a battle theme. Yep. Really smooth transition too. I assume Finding Purposes did that one for the sake of the video. Very nice, very tasteful. And of course the themes work together natively, because they kind of have to. And again, keeping that melody just rocking on the low end. Extremely subtle and very tasteful side chaining for that bass too. You can hear that in there. That's like every time the kick comes in, you can feel it dip. But it's not aggressive or like overdone, which does happen sometimes. Now I'm just gonna be vibing. once again, this like this active changing to keep things fresh. They do this really well in Zenless. See, like, I didn't even notice that it had moved on. I thought I was still back here somewhere. I was just enjoying it. But it just moved so smoothly. I didn't even hear a transition over here. Man. They did a really good job at blending those. I suppose they are just like variants of each other, like the exploration, then like a change in the exploration. So now in hindsight, I can kind of imagine where those happened, but still, brilliant mixing between them, and they just felt so smooth all the way through. All right, so like I was saying, basically that entire time, I loved the way that this one just kind of kept it consistent. This is something that happens a lot, basically every single time I hear one of these like exploration battle theme blends in Zenless. They really do the whole like blending of that energy very well and keeping the consistency of what should be an exploration theme, something that is able to loop basically endlessly and not get exhausting. They do this in the core functions of how I mentioned, which is like changing it up every maybe 8 to 16 measures and keeping something the same. In this case, it's that melody, which I'm going to show you what that is, just that top end melody, because it is so simple, but it allows for all of this other stuff to happen. And it goes, that's it. That's literally everything. It's not a lot. It's not complicated, but that's exactly why it allows for the room to expand and turn into the battle theme later on. We have something that is basic, but is also held on by the core ideals of major relationships and then one minor. So we have something that's a little crunchy in there to contrast the much more full tones that we're getting that are shared in the main chunk of the melody. This is something that basically every single musical melody follows the rule of. It's a simple concept that I don't think this is like an official thing. I call it like a 3/4 quality to the song, where 3/4 of the main melody is of a positive or a negative tone, and then one of that fourth is shifted to either the minor or the major that you haven't touched on. So in this case, we have relationships that are major and then the one minor, like really crunchy, diminished relationship in there. And that's what makes the song feel so easy to listen to. It's something that, for the most part, keeps a consistent, more upbeat melody going on. And then you have one little thing off to the side that's not, in order to kind of trick the brain into going, oh, we're restarting now. This is, like I said, super common. It's in basically every video game ever made, ever. Music has always done this for video games. It's just a music theory thing that people fell upon, and it works really well. They've used it in pop music for decades. You can basically find it anywhere you look in music. And so, of course, using it for an exploration theme is a really good idea because you won't immediately get tired of it. The other factor that does help that is moving the song around a little bit instead of just keeping it only that melody. Like if you heard only the looping, maybe first 20 or so seconds of that theme, you would probably get tired of it pretty quick. But it's moving the melody into different variables of the same thing, making it a little bit softer, adding enveloping and some like wider, warmer tones to it, and having something else kind of like slowly fade in to change things out. That breaking apart that I mentioned that I didn't even realize was a different part of it's kind of a different theme, but still the same theme. Weird how they do that, but I also love that because that's what the theme being so simple allowed for. It allowed the song to be broken down even further to, in some ways, complicated, like having just that bass line be played on the synth and having the guitar handle the more complex in-between notes, and you can add more notation in there. You can subdivide the melody a little bit more and allow for more movement, so you can gradually build into something like a battle theme, which they did here. Again, I'm pretty sure that blend specifically was Finding Purpose's upload, but that's still why the relationship works. When you're hearing it in game and that's happening, you're like, oh, so now the song's changing. This is all like subconscious stuff that you're not really thinking about. And then a battle happens and you're like, aha, now it makes sense. Now the energy is higher. It's more allowed in your brain. It allows for more like RAM in your head. It just kind of prepares your brain for more escalation into that battle theme where things get a lot more complex. There's a lot more synth. There's a lot more layering, but there's still that constant of the theme underneath it, but it's more relegated to a baseline synth than it is the melody at this point, and all of the more complex, like EDM, dubsteppy sort of stuff that takes over in that spot can do its job and make things sound more aggressive and faster. The beat kicks up a lot for this, and of course that's a classic for boss themes and battle themes and whatever have you, something that is just more energized to get your brain ready for that adrenaline rush that it's kind of begging of you, you know? This is music theory. It's the theory of the subconscious and the mind in music, and why video game themes are forever going to be really good at this, because that's what you gotta do. You have to utilize psychology in order to make the players kind of get it without even paying attention. It's all subconscious, but that's why Zenless does it so well, because not only are they doing all of that stuff, but they're matching the themes in the music so perfectly to the areas you're in. This is something that a lot of games don't get right, but Zenless has consistently got right every single time, is looking at an area, the design of it, the expectation of it in your mind, they're matching that. At least for me, they're matching that. I think that this is the perfect sound you should get for this like cleaner end of this like kind of sort of deco inspired location that they're in. I like this like art deco-y sort of stuff that was going on, this like mid-century look that a lot of this building had in it. And that's just themes, you know, like, again, these are things that our brains are kind of tuned to expect due to other media. So when we're getting into a game, we're like, aha, this makes sense immediately. There's no other additional processing required. You don't have to dig into your brain to go, why is this happening? Because you've been seeing these things associated basically your whole life, and you're just like, oh, yep, that totally makes sense. That's why when I called this kind of like that 90s neo-futuristic kind of look, that's kind of what this is in a way, because Art Deco was based on like a futurism that happened in like the 50s and 60s. So this is just an evolution of that, and there's design elements borrowed from that for this. So having this sound kind of harken back in our brains to something like a 90s anime or a video game from that era just works, you know? It's, again, that kind of conditioning we've had our entire lives. So once again, another set of phenomenal songs, really good thematically matched songs from Zenless. They really do their best work all the time. It's insane how consistent they are. I finally did watch the FES concert too, and wow. Like I put on my dance lights and everything. That DJ set was banger. Like, oh man. I mean, the standalone like band sets and everything were really good too, but that DJ set, I was so bummed nobody was jumping. I was the only one bouncing in the entire room, and I wasn't even in it. So if you want to see that, that's out there, but this is a really phenomenal theme set, and I love that I got to hear these. So thank you all so very much for requesting these ones. Obviously, CEO who put it in the comments, and everyone who wanted me to get to it as well. This is really good theming. I love it when games nail it, and this is, again, something that Zenless has always done. So I'll stop yapping about it now. I'm starting to just retread thoughts. So thank you all so very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you want me to get to something else from Zenless, by all means, drop it in the comments below, and I will do my best as always to get to those. But if you don't want to do any of that, maybe just want to follow me and support me for more stuff coming in the future, you know how to do all that, and I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!